This is now the end of lap 6, and we are under pressure from both Aston Martins, Vettel and Stroll. But we are defending very nicely as Stroll goes side by side with his teammate Vettel. And oh my word, we hit the wall! We have a snap of oversteer where we lose our front wing. Vettel is out of the Grand Prix. Did Vettel make contact with us there? Oh Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, welcome back to episode 3 of F1 22 career mode, our road to glory, driving for Williams Racing alongside Alexander Albon. Now guys, so far this season we've been on a good streak. In Bahrain, we managed a miraculous P5. In Saudi Arabia, we managed a P9. Still points in this absolute backmarker car. So things are looking good for Williams Racing, but I think from this point onwards, we are going to have a very harsh and very in-depth reality check. We are heading towards Albert Park for the Australian Grand Prix. And guys, remember, this is the new version of the track, the one we saw literally in this year's F1 season, the real-life season. And for the first time in a long time, I'm excited to drive, the Albert Park circuit, because I haven't been a fan of this circuit ever. But I'm curious to see how the new circuit flows. And you guys can see a few upgrades have come onto the car. And as far as things look, we are no longer the slowest team on the grid, because it seems like we've jumped Aston Martin. But before I take that as an official statement, let's just see what is waiting for us as soon as we get to the race weekend when we look at the R&D chart there. You guys can see we are going for some weight reduction upgrades. Guys, basically the upgrades that I can do, I'm doing rear downforce as well, because this car is basically a boat. So we need to transform it into a Formula One car. But as you guys can see there on the right, we are above Aston Martin. We've got a bunch of upgrades in the pipeline. But we'll have to see where we stand as soon as the race weekend starts. Here I'm just quickly fitting back the old parts of the car for practice, so that we use our engine as sparingly as possible. And, oh, great.
We were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control. We'll need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
So, the front wing flaps failed, but in any case, that's the Williams way, it seems. And we got the cylinder head failed as well. Williams, are you kidding me? We're trying to build a car here. Seriously, bruh. I mean, come on. The only thing we've got going for ourselves is the engine, and now even that's starting to fail parts. Luckily, the reliability parts are in, so for whatever it matters. But so we've repurchased two other parts.
Some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed quality control.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to talk over him because honestly, he's just saying the same thing. We've got another Pirelli Hot Lap challenge that we are going to do for some extra acclaim. And as we look to this screen again, we are once again below Aston Martin, Aramco Cognizant Formula One team. Why is their name so long? There is no freaking meaning for that. But still, this session was actually, as you guys can see, a wet one. And once again, not the easiest thing to do. I'm not going to lie to you guys. These Pirelli Hot Lap challenges are really hard, and they really do need what's the word I'm looking for? They really need you to concentrate, otherwise it completely messes you up. And this is the first time I'm actually trying, this track, and it's not even the full track, but these new revised corners. And it was I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a big adjustment, but I wasn't able to get gold for some other reason. On the pad it was just extremely hard, and trust me, I gave it a few tries. I restarted a few times Just couldn't get the gold, and later on I was just like, you know what, I give up. I'll take the silver. It is all nice and dandy. It's all fine. Let's just get to the F1 because that is the main thing we are all here for. We did get reasonably close, but still not close enough. So guys, jumping towards the performance chart, you guys can see Ferrari are absolutely running away with this season so far. They started the season the fastest, and besides Red Bull that have done a minor upgrade, Ferrari has just kept upgrading. And soon, Mercedes will be on the back of Red Bull if Red Bull stay where they are. So it's Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. Then it's a battle for P4 between Alfa Romeo, Alpine, and Haas, which is quite interesting. And then there's a battle for P7 between Alpha Tauri and McLaren, and then myself and Aston Martin battling for the wooden spoon. Well, us at Williams Racing and Aston Martin battling for the wooden spoon. But it's clear Aston Martin has brought a few minor upgrades or a major upgrade. So once again, we are looking at the back. But there's nothing we can do about it now. Hopefully all goes well this weekend and there's a crazy race once again. We just need to hope for the best. And yeah, let's head straight to qualifying. So ready for qualifying we are, and as you guys can see here in Q1 we are busy with our first lap. And guys, here's the new revised part of the track where they've taken away that middle sector chicane, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty nice, but I still don't like this track. After practice and qualifying, obviously you guys will see what happens in qualifying, but I still don't like this track. I just don't like the Albert Park circuit. I don't know why, it just doesn't suit me. I don't like this track. I don't think I ever will, no matter how much they revise it. So yeah, it's better than it was, but I still don't like it. So our first lap was not the best. We are currently in P19, so second to last. And here we go for our final lap in Q1. Here's a full lap of the track so you guys can see. The first two corners not really have been changed. Turn 3, however, has been made a little bit, it's been opened up a bit and given more space. So it's a very flowing corner. Into T4 and T5, this fifth corner to me is insanely fun. I love this corner, even though I go extremely wide there. But luckily, the lap does not get invalidated. Through this next section, this corner has been opened up a lot. So you really need to be on throttle really quickly to get the maximum speed for this following flat out section. Then we come to Cancer Chicane, and yes, I did just call it Cancer Chicane because you spend most of the time here instead of going through it flowingly. So you guys can see through the left into the right, mount the outside curb, open up DRS as we head towards the final part of this lap. Into two right-handers. For this one has been tightened. The track has been widened, but the corner itself has been tightened. Very awkward line through there. Into this fifth gear corner. Into the penultimate corner. I go a little bit wide, miss the apex, but I get a good exit into the final corner. The short shift to fifth gear, open up DRS, put the power down as early as possible, and we head towards the line, and we are in P! We are out of qualifying, I'm almost certain about it. So come on, let's go down. Yes, we're out. So Schumacher, Joe, Albon, myself, and Daniel Ricciardo, who didn't set a time, is out. And we are by far the slowest driver. This is going to be a very long Grand Prix. I can tell you guys that, but what can we do now? Let's head to the race.
Hello and welcome from Melbourne, a track modified since we last raced here in Albert Park, and I think with the changes, it's going to be a classic. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton. and Russell. Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen and Pierre Gasly. Ocon, Norris, Yuki Tsunoda and Vettel. Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou and Alex Albon. O'Connor and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I love the fact that they've put Natalie Pinkham in the game. It's so nice just to hear her voice. So yeah, but guys, once again, we're starting from P19. The McLarens are clearly quicker cars, so I don't think we're going to be fighting Ricciardo for much of this race. I think he's going to overtake us and then just run into the distance. So I'm going bold. I'm going for a two-stop because we've got nothing to lose. We are in any case out of the points and we need to try and get to the points. So I'm hoping for an insane race so that we can get points some way, somehow. But we're going for a two-stop, starting on the softs, going to mediums and ending on the softs again. Wish me luck. Let's get this. Enjoy the formation lap.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Guys, are you guys ready for the Australian Grand Prix at the new revised Albert Park circuit? We line up at the back of the grid and it's time for the 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go for the Australian Grand Prix. The lights went out really quickly. It's a Ferrari front row lockout. The 2 Red Bulls follow behind. Here we go into this first section of track. It is Leclerc leading the way from sight to actually start on the softs like myself, followed by Max Verstappen, then Sergio Perez, and the 2 Mercedes are right behind them, trying to keep them within touching distance. But the 2 Ferraris have had a fantastic launch off of the line. As the 2 Mercs are now going side by side, Russell v Hamilton and Bottas and the 2 Alpines are sniffing right behind them. But Russell gets the best of Hamilton for a split second there. But Hamilton is still in this fight. But now he's under pressure from his former teammate Valtteri Bottas. But Hamilton gives Bottas the squeeze and he ducks into the slipstream of his teammate. But that was a very, very cray start, if you guys know what I mean. You guys see from our start, guys, launching these cars manually is so hard. So you guys need to bear with me. I'll get used to it someday or another. But I'm into the first corner. You guys see Ricciardo goes side by side with my teammate. I've got nowhere to go. The car has a snap of oversteer. And once again, we just sit back, relax. We'll wait for these guys to start concertinaing up, and then we'll, like that, we go around the outside of Ricciardo. Zhou and my teammate Albon are side by side. They leave the inside wide open for T4. And we are up into, what's that, P17. And now there's the 2 Mercedes fighting, and everybody is budged up. The 2 Astons ahead of us are also having a nice old ding-dong battle, as we have to go off track to get side by side with Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda gave us a massive squeeze there, but we are still fine. Now side by side with the AlphaTauri driver, as Mick Schumacher and Lance Stroll, is it Sebastian Vettel? I'm not sure. But Mick Schumacher is battling one of the 2 Aston Martins. He gets the better of him, and now we go down this back straight. And here you guys can see that Williams does not have a bad engine. We draw side by side with the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. We go around the outside, and his teammate Stroll is fighting with Mick Schumacher. Schumacher is really punchy at the start. But here we go. Will we go for a dive on the inside of the penultimate corner? Yes, we do. We sandwich Schumacher between ourselves and Stroll, but we get the move done on both of them, and that is why you start on the soft tires to have a very aggressive first lap, and that could not have gone any better. Beautiful first lap. I think we're now up into P13 as Stroll is under pressure from Schumacher, but he gives him the pinch into the first quarter, and now Schumacher is under pressure from the second Aston Martin, Sebastian Vettel. My teammate has been bumped down to last place, so once again Albon's got nothing to lose. But as you guys can see, the two Aston Martins as well as the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz is on the same strategy as myself, the two-stop. So we might be onto something here. We just need to keep an eye out and see what happens. But at this stage of the race, it's critical for Carlos Sainz to stick with Charles Leclerc, because these softs just last about 5 to 7 laps, and then you have to box. If he can stay within DRS of his teammate, maybe even go for the move and have Charles battle the Red Bulls, he's in for a good shout-out to win this race. But let's see what happens. It's only lap 2 of 29. There's still a lot of tarmac that needs to be covered before the end of this Australian Grand Prix. But you guys can see through this next part, it's the end of lap 2, and Sainz has got a 3/4 of a second gap to Leclerc. Verstappen is 8/10 behind Sainz, and Perez 6/10 behind his teammate. And the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas has actually split the two Mercedes with Alonso P8. Magnussen has split the two Alpines, and Ocon is in P10. We jump onto lap 4, back to this little battle behind me between Schumacher and the two Aston Martins, and even Yuki Tsunoda is getting in on the fun here, but Vettel goes up the inside of his teammate Stroll into the Kansas chicane, and here we go, down the back straight. Tsunoda now puts Schumacher under pressure, who got held up by Stroll, and here we go. Will Schumacher go around the outside of the Aston Martin? He tries his best there, but Stroll is holding firm here, around the outside again, side by side through this third sector for Stroll and Schumacher. Up the inside goes the German, but Stroll just keeps his nose in there. Stroll is not letting go here. Oh my word! What happened there to make Schumacher? That just looked like a wash of understeer. That did not look pretty for the German. Ricciardo is past him, Tsunoda is past him, and he is now under pressure from Zhou and my teammate Albon, who is also having a nice little ding-dong battle with each other. That was just so weird for Mick Schumacher, but it just seemed like his car just had a wash of understeer, and he could do nothing about it. So that is actually kind of sad. Let's hope Mick does not have front wing damage from that little collision with the wall. We now jump on towards the second half of lap 5, and you guys can see the softs on Carlos Sainz's Ferrari are not looking so good anymore. Leclerc has broken away, and he's now under pressure from Max Verstappen, who goes around the outside of that newly revised corner after the back straight. So Verstappen is up into P2, chasing after Leclerc. And here you guys can see, this is now the end of lap 6, and we are under pressure from both Aston Martins, Vettel and Stroll. But we are defending very nicely as Stroll goes side by side with his teammate Vettel. And oh my word, we hit the wall! We have a snap of oversteer where we lose our front wing. Vettel is out of the Grand Prix. Did Vettel make contact with us there? Oh my word. Sainz is into the pit lane. So Sainz is getting a free pit stop because the safety car has been deployed. We are without a front wing behind Lance Stroll. But guys, let's have a look at what happened, because I'm not even certain what happened here. So Stroll goes side by side with Vettel, and as we put the power down, our softs just don't want to go no more, and we creep into the wall. And as we come back onto the track, well, not that there is any space because it's the wall of the track, Vettel just couldn't avoid us. You guys can see I countered the oversteer, and with my counter I overcorrect the car and send it into the wall. Now, luckily, I've only got front wing damage, but it could have been so much worse. I really feel bad for Sebastian Vettel here, because he was actually having a pretty good race so far. But, yeah, we've basically taken Vettel out of the race. Not on purposely. And guys, also, because of this contact, I've got a 5-second penalty, which I'm going to serve in my pit stop immediately, but still, this was not on purpose. I feel that's a bit harsh from the stewards, because literally, I hit the wall and just correcting the car to get back on the track, yeah. I didn't realize Vettel and Stroll were side by side, so there was no way for Vettel to go. But you guys can see 5-second penalty, and we are coming into the pit lane for a new set of tyres.
It looks like Williams have made a call to come into the pits, so they'll be hoping for a fast turnaround.
Yeah, we are, but we've got a 5-second penalty, and like I wanted to say before Crofty interrupted me, we also have to change our front wing. So it's 5 seconds, a front wing change, and a tyre change. So we are going to be at the back of the grid. There's no two ways about it. So once again, yeah. Guys, we've basically screwed ourselves now. They say the estimated tyre life for the mediums is 16 laps.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll see the penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. Right, the safety...
Okay, thank goodness he finally kept quiet. But guys, we're not in last place. Guan Yu Zhou is still behind us. But now that the safety car has been deployed and the leaders overtook the safety car, Leclerc is in. Are these guys converting to a two-stop? Leclerc's off of the mediums onto the hards. Verstappen, however, is going on to the soft. Red Bull are trying an aggressive two-stop. Obviously, Red Bull double stacked, so Perez is getting was a bit screwed there. But Ferrari is sticking to their one-stop. Red Bull are sticking to the two-stop. Well, they've converted to a two-stop. That's very interesting. And guys, look at the top 10 now. You've got Bottas leading from Hamilton, Alonso, Magnussen, Ocon, Gasly, and Norris. The top 7 have not pitted. Then you've got Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, and Russell, and then Perez. This is going to be a very interesting race from this point onwards. I honestly don't know what's going to happen from this point onwards, because the top 7 still have to make a pit stop. The rest of the grid have pitted. So the top 7 are sticking to the one stop. The rest have either gone for an early one stop or have converted to a two stop. So it's the end of lap 9. The safety car is coming in. We are down at P18, so there's not much that we can do. But the race is back underway. And Bottas in the Alfa Romeo leads the way of the Australian Grand Prix, with Hamilton and Alonso following closely behind. And don't count out Magnussen in that Haas as well. So Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Russell and Perez have got to make their way through traffic and hope that everything goes well. That everything goes all nice and dandy. But you guys can see Verstappen is putting a lot of pressure on Leclerc, followed by Perez. But what the hell's going on here? We're in P12? How did that happen? Oh, guys, Carlos Sainz is down to P19. It says DNF next to his name. What happened to the Spaniard? So on the restart, everything looks all nice and dandy. And Sainz goes, oh, there's smoke! Sainz's engine has just gone kaput. And the Ferrari driver, after looking pretty good, his race has gone up in smoke, literally and figuratively. Excuse the pun. But still, oh my word. And guys, I see the yellow flag and everybody's slowing down, but I'm just like, I'm not going to slow down. And I just cut my way through everybody. We dive up the inside of George Russell. And guys, that was millimeter perfect. That was taking such a massive risk. I could have easily ended my race or someone else's race there. So Zhou is behind me, and let's be honest, I should have actually gotten an illegal overtake for these positions, but I didn't see the Ferrari on the inside of the track because everybody was sticking to the inside, so I couldn't see Sainz. So I just cut my way through, and here's an onboard of large Stroll's front wings. You guys can see how close I cut this. So there goes the Red Bull, there goes the McLaren, and everybody just sticks to the inside, and I'm just like whoosh. Guys, I nearly took off Stroll's front wing. That was so close. And I just go for the dive up the inside of Russell. And all of a sudden, our race is back on. We're in P12. Well, make that P30 because here goes George Russell on his brand spanking new set of soft tires. But guys, because most of the grid has converted to a two-stop, we're back in this race. Even though we caused the safety car and we were second to last, we are still in this race. So Sainz and Vettel are out of this Grand Prix. But look at this train behind me. Look at Albon! Albon goes for an insane dive up the inside of like 3 cars there. He only manages to get 2. He only manages to get Stroll and Zhou. But the Williams boys are punchy today. We are punchy. But now we go back to the top 10 as Leclerc and Verstappen are trying to get through these cars. Leclerc goes around the outside of Lando Norris here while he tries. And oh, there's a bit of contact. There's front wing missing there. Is that Norris or Leclerc's front wing? It's Leclerc's. Oh no. The guy who looked in dominant fashion to win this race before the safety car. His race is starting to go up in smoke, guys. He wanted to do a 1-stop and now he's forced into a 2-stop. Well, maybe even a 3-stop because one of the Ferrari going to put him on. But Verstappen is now the leader of this race because a lot of the people who stayed out under safety car are pitting now. I mean, Bottas has converted to a 2-stop, which I don't know why because he was in prime position to be able to be fighting for a podium here. But it's just opened up for Red Bull. Honestly, this race has just opened up for Red Bull. And look at us, we're at P12. Everybody's boxing. I see Leclerc go down the timing chart, but we're in the points. We're at P8. We let Russell go, guys, because there's no way I'm going to keep that Mercedes behind for long. So it's easier just to let Russell go and try and steal a bit of slipstream and DRS off of the Mercedes driver. But yeah, we're at P8 on the mediums, and we're going to soft at the end of the race, but maybe if we grind our teeth, we can make these softs these mediums last, although I highly doubt it. But there's still a long way to go, a very long way to go. Here's Verstappen going around the outside of his former teammate Pierre Gasly. That's Verstappen up into P3. Sergio Perez, the next lap, is probably going to do the exact same thing to Gasly. But guys, like I said, this race has opened up for Red Bull. Sainz is out. Leclerc is in last place. I mean, Verstappen and Perez can just, even if they have to fight Hamilton, this race is Red Bull's to lose now because they are now the quickest car still left fighting for points. Leclerc has just overtaken Ocon, so he's in P17, but he's so far behind, it's not even funny. So here goes Verstappen. I mean, up the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but Magnussen is really giving Verstappen a hard time here. Once again, Verstappen has got DRS here, and Verstappen is just trying to get past this Haas. But, I mean, Magnussen is fighting for a podium, so I can understand why he's fighting so hard. But Verstappen finally gets the move done, and he is now up into P2, chasing after the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. We now jump on to lap 13 here, guys, as a bunch of other people have pitted now again. Leclerc is fighting Ocon still for this, what is now P12, but he forces Ocon a bit into the wall there, and that is Leclerc up into P12. You guys can see now Hamilton is coming into the pit lane. So Hamilton is going on to the Haas, but Verstappen is in, Magnussen is in, Perez is staying out, but guys, so, wait. Verstappen has converted to more than a 2-stop, okay, so he's coming in. Hamilton is going on to the hards. I think Verstappen is doing the same. Or is he going on to the mediums? I'm not sure, but Perez is going to have to stop again as well. But looking at the cookie in P3, we have just jumped all the way up to P3 in this race. Because we just have to, we've got into the mediums, we're going much longer than the soft tire runners. So we're sitting pretty in P3. And we've got a 4-second gap to Hamilton, so we've got some clean air, and we're almost 6 seconds behind Russell. So guys, we are in a beautiful position here. But look who's back on track together. Leclerc and Verstappen. Can you even separate these two? I mean, oh my great goodness, you cannot separate those two. They are like glued together for this career mode. But the safety car has been deployed? For what? There's another safety car? For what reason? We're looking at our teammate and we're looking at a replay now, guys. This is my teammate and coming out of the pit lane is Valtteri Bottas. And oh my word, Albon just runs into the back of Bottas and this triggers the safety car. And all of a sudden, Perez, Russell, and myself, our race has just changed for the better. Perez is ending, he's going on to the hard tires. I'm sure Russell is doing the same, and we are going to do the same as well, because now we're in a podium position. Not that I think we're going to stay there.
Williams have made a call to come into the pits, so they'll be hoping for a fast turnaround.
Yes, especially now that we don't have a penalty or need to change our front wing. This race has just opened up, and you guys can see I'm going onto the hards, because now I know I can make it to the end of the race.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
That is the idea. That is basically the idea. Guys, Leclerc is in, coming off of his softs onto hards. So Leclerc is now pushing till the end of the race because we're all going to bunch up on the safety car. Albon is coming in to get a new front wing. It is just absolute chaos at this stage of the race. I mean, honestly, it's absolute chaos. Hamilton leads the way from Perez in P2. Magnussen for Haas F1 is in P3. Russell P4. Verstappen P5. So it's going to be a Mercedes-Red Bull battle for this race victory. And you guys saw with the performance index, the Mercedes is not far off the Red Bull. So we can have a pretty juicy fight here for the top 4 positions. Ricciardo, who started last in this race, is in P6. We are in P7, followed by the 2 Alpha Tauris of Gasly and Tsunoda, and the second McLaren of Norris is in P10. Then you've got strong P11, Leclerc fighting back from P12. The 2 Alfa Romeos that looked so good at one stage of this race, especially Bottas, are out of the points. Alonso and Ocon and the Alpines who were in the points are outside the points. And then you've got Schumacher and my teammate Albon at the back. There is anything and everything can happen in this Grand Prix from now on. Like, honestly, anything and everything can happen. There's still more than 10 laps to go. And on the restart, you guys can see I catch Ricciardo napping a bit there. I have a beautiful run through the final corner. And look at the straight line speed of the Williams. We're going to pull to the outside of the Australian at his home Grand Prix. We pinch him to the inside. And that is P6 for us.
4.7 seconds.
That is P6 for us in this Australian Grand Prix. Guys, we just caught Ricciardo napping there. That was absolutely brilliant. Like, honestly, that was brilliant. We're going to have a look at a replay in just a second. But we just caught Ricciardo napping, and now he's under pressure from Gasly and Tsunoda. If we can try and stick with Verstappen for just 2 laps, we can break away from Ricciardo. And guys, then we're sitting in P6. Then we need to wait for Leclerc to come from behind, and trust me, he will come from behind. That is a given. He will come from behind. So, here we go, guys. Look at this. Around the outside. We actually had the move done before we started pinching Ricciardo. But, I mean, we outbroke him. That was literally a perfect move. I mean, oh my soul, I'm so proud of that move. That was just brilliant. Leclerc does the same as we do, just up the inside of Norris. But Norris gives Leclerc the pinch, and that gives Norris the run coming out of the corner. So Leclerc needs to make sure that the straight line speed of the Ferrari is on point. Up the inside of T3, and Leclerc gets the move done easily on Norris. And now he's already pressurizing Yuki Tsunoda. So, I mean, you guys can see, this is now lap 19. Ricciardo has caught back up to us because the Williams is just useless. But Leclerc up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda. And now Leclerc is right behind Gasly and Ricciardo, who are right behind me. But now, coming towards the end of lap 19, DRS has now once again been enabled. So, yeah, Ricciardo is pressurizing me a lot. And like I said at the beginning of the race, guys, the McLaren is the quicker car. It just is. Leclerc goes up the inside of Gasly, as these guys are just racing extremely insane. We defended successfully from Ricciardo, but here comes Leclerc. And oh my word, Ricciardo has a lockup. There's massive contact there between Leclerc, Ricciardo, and Yuki Tsunoda. Where did you come from, bruh? Where did you come from? He is now the guy in P7 behind me. But guys, let's have a look at this from onboard Tsunoda's car. I mean, oh my word. Gasly gets forced a little bit to the outside. Leclerc tries to go for the move around the outside of Ricciardo. Ricciardo has got a massive lockup. Yuki is just like, okay, I'm going to dive Gasly. And because Ricciardo locks up, okay, yay, P7, let's go. So, what a move from the young Japanese driver. That was phenomenal from Tsunoda. Well, bloody done, Yuki. But obviously, guys, Yuki is not going to keep this Ferrari behind him. It's an easy move for Leclerc into P7. And now he's chasing after myself. But, guys, now I need to choose. Am I going to hold up Leclerc? Or am I going to, have Leclerc just go past me? Because we're still fighting for position now. But, we now look at Max Verstappen as he's trying to get past Magnussen, as Perez, Russell and Hamilton are starting to run away. So this is critical for Max. And once again, Magnussen is being an absolute pain in the butt. But there's a third safety car? For what? And Leclerc pitted again! What is going on in this Australian Grand Prix? Guys, there's Zhou and Ocon make contact. There's front wing damage there. But, I mean, that cannot be why the safety car has been caused. We now look at the onboard of Mick Schumacher. And through this next spot, Schumacher runs into the back of Zhou. And his car broke on the racing line through turn 2. That is heartbreak for Mick Schumacher. And guys, Leclerc has pitted again. For why? He doesn't have front wing damage, well, not visible front wing damage. And yet he's changing his front wing. So there must be damage that we don't know of. And he's going onto the softs. So once again, Leclerc is at the back of the grid. I mean, oh wow, under safety car he's pitting again. What is going on in this Australian Grand Prix? Guys, I'm honestly flabbergasted. What is going on with Ferrari? What is going on in this race? What is going on? I am so confused. So Leclerc's back down to P17. He's on a fresh set of mediums. We are in P6. Right behind Kevin Magnussen. Can we do to Magnussen what we did to Ricciardo? Come on. Power down. ERS active. Here we go. Magnussen is slow off the final corner. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Up the inside of Magnussen. It's much easier than the outside. And that is move done on the Dane. We are now into P5 of the Australian Grand Prix. After lap 6, we were at the back with a penalty. And with a broken front wing, with no front wing, to mention that. We didn't even have a broken front wing, we had no front wing. We are fighting in the top 5. Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Gasly, Norris, Stroll, Alonso, Bottas, all these drivers coming from behind. And this little freaking Williams is in P5. There's a replay of the move on Magnussen, guys. It's a beautiful move up the inside. But even more interesting, we've got a 4-car battle for the win of the Australian Grand Prix. Hamilton v Perez v Russell v Verstappen, Mercedes v Red Bull. It's 2021 all over again, just in 2022. I mean, oh my great goodness, what can happen more in this Grand Prix? We've had 3 safety cars. 3. And with 6 laps to go, it's still absolutely insane. I mean, nobody can predict what's going to happen with this race. We're in P5. How are we in P5? We've got Verstappen battling with Russell and Perez battling with Hamilton. You've got Leclerc chasing from the back. Will he even get points? That is the question. He's on fresh medium, so he's on the freshest tires of anybody on the grid. So that will be the fastest car on the grid. But I don't think there can happen much more, guys, because honestly, what more can happen in this Grand Prix? The Hamilton is keeping Perez behind him, but Russell is struggling with Verstappen. I don't even think we can skip parts of these final 6 laps because it's going to be that insane. We've got Tsunoda now going for a move on Magnussen as we are still in P5. We're not under pressure, but Tsunoda tries to go up the inside of the Dane, but Magnussen has a successful defense on the Japanese driver. And guys, oh my word, somebody's off track there. That is Guan Yu Zhou, who's gone off track. Please don't let there be another safety car. Please, I beg. Okay, luckily no safety car. But what happened here to Zhou? Did he just lock up? Yeah, that's just a lock up and he goes to the gravel. So that's just buckling a bit under pressure there from Zhou. I don't know why he tried to fight Leclerc. There's no point to that. They're not fighting 4 points and the Ferrari is miles faster than the Alfa Romeo. So I don't understand that logic from Zhou, but still, so he is booked into P17. We now watch again, look at the leaders. Hamilton locks up going into the final sector, and Perez takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. But with Hamilton locking up, he held up his teammate Russell, who is now under pressure from Verstappen. We are still under pressure from Magnussen and Tsunoda, but Hamilton has just thrown away the win of the Australian Grand Prix. So guys, heading towards the corner, we can see that Hamilton he's under pressure and he just has a monumental lockup on the right front, and Perez is now the new leader. But there was also drama behind us. This race is crazy. Can it stop? Ricciardo, who has been driving phenomenally this Grand Prix, has had an engine failure or some sort of electronic failure. Then no smoke came out of the car, so I'm guessing it's a gearbox or an electronic failure. But fighting from P20 on the grid into the points and now having to suffer a DNF. We're sitting with 4 DNFs right now: Ricciardo, Schumacher, Sainz and Vettel. And there's only still 4 laps to go. We now look once again at Hamilton, Russell and Verstappen, and Hamilton locks up again! You've got to be kidding me! This is so uncharacteristic from the 7-time world champion. He defends a lot better from his teammate Russell than he did from Perez, but it's as if Hamilton just isn't gelling with that corner. All these tires are really starting to give Hamilton some problems. But Hamilton is down to P3. He might take the position back from his teammate, but with Verstappen looming, he might go down all the way to P4. Verstappen is around the outside. It's a 3-1 moment into T1, and Verstappen pulls off the move of the Grand Prix and gets himself up into P2. It's a Red Bull 1-2 Perez from Verstappen, and Hamilton is all the way down to P4. That is horrendous luck and just an absolutely terrible way for Hamilton's race to turn out. He's not even on the podium anymore. He's P4. As we now look at Charles Leclerc fighting back from the back. He's up into P12, but he's got Alonso, Stroll, Norris and Gasly still ahead of him. And obviously, guys, I'm the bottleneck. Wow, what a close call there for Lance Stroll, as he has the same little incident that Mick Schumacher had earlier on in the race, just understeering close to that outside barrier. But Leclerc's officially in the points, and he's now chasing after the former 2-time world champion, my hero, Fernando Alonso. And if you guys look on the screen, it has started to rain of everything that can happen, everything that's already happened. 3 safety cars, insane crashes, insane moves. It's now started to rain with 1.5 laps to go. And guys, the rain, the track is cooling down. It's starting to get moist. We really need to be on our best game, as we are under pressure from Tsunoda, if you guys look at the left. But we need to look at this battle between Leclerc and Alonso, heading into the Cancer Chicane. And yes, I know it's not the real name, but I'm going to call it the Cancer Chicane. Not the point. Leclerc up the inside of Alonso for the first half. Alonso will have the inside for the second half, as Gasly is off the road. Leclerc gets past Alonso as Alonso nearly shoves him off track, but Gasly was off track there. What is going on in this Australian Grand Prix where it's going absolutely nuts? Me and Tsunoda went side by side, and it seemed like Gasly just understeered off the road. We need to have another replay of that, but me and Tsunoda going side by side. As I pinched Tsunoda, Tsunoda has a big twitch of oversteer, and I think that startled the Frenchman. I think that startled Gasly, and in his attempt to avoid, he just went off the track. But Gasly is out of the points. And as we start the final lap of this absolutely bonkers Australian Grand Prix, Perez has bolted away from Verstappen in P2, Russell P3, who's still under pressure from his teammate Hamilton. We are still fighting for P5 with Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris. But look in the background. There's a very fast Ferrari and Alpine approaching. We defend successfully from Tsunoda into the first corner. But Norris is here to fight. Leclerc is here to fight. Alonso is here to fight. There's still a long way to go as Tsunoda locks up. There's contact with Leclerc. Oh my word. It just seems like you think nothing more can happen, and then it does. Tsunoda's got floor and side pod damage. Leclerc's without a front wing. It's raining. What on earth is going on in this Grand Prix? And I know I've asked it like 10 times, but guys, seriously, Tsunoda locks up, and as he tries to turn in, the car oversteers because the track is starting to get moist, if you can put it that way. You guys can see Tsunoda oversteers to the next right-hander thanks to his floor damage, but Leclerc saw the opportunity. Tsunoda oversteered right in front of Leclerc. Leclerc T-boned him. He's still lucky to be in the race, but now he needs to hope Tsunoda is not fast enough to catch him, and that he holds up Alonso to get the P7. But Leclerc is without a front wing. How is this even possible for this race? It is absolute insanity, and we have just kept our nose out of trouble after our lap 6 incident. And look at the rewards. It's P5 behind the Red Bulls and the Mercedes, but Norris is still coming from behind. Alonso is going for Tsunoda. How is Leclerc keeping that Ferrari on the track? Here comes Tsunoda and Alonso. It is absolute insanity at this stage, with one set sector to go. We stay ahead of Norris. I think we are clean for P5. I can't believe we're going to get another P5. It is absolutely breaking my brain. But Leclerc is still in P7 on those mediums. He is still defending from Alonso and Norris, which is his fullest right because it's the final lap. Sergio Perez is your Australian Grand Prix winner. But after all the insanity, we are going to come home to finish P5 in the most insane race of the season.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, not the result our points leader would have wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to O'Connor. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was an absolute pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. And Red Bull take over as championship leaders. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Wild is the understatement of the century in Formula One if you look at this race. Guys, we are in P7 in the Drivers' Championship in the slowest car on the grid. Sainz still leads the championship by 4 points over Verstappen. Perez is now solidly in this championship with 43 points. Leclerc can still easily fight his way back. Leclerc was robbed today. Then it's the two Mercs, and we are basically best of the rest. We are the best of the race driver. Constructors-wise, we are in the top 5. We are 5th in the Constructors. All my points because Albon is yet to score for our team. We are only behind Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. Ahead of McLaren, Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and Aston Martin. I don't know how Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri are still sitting on so minimal points. But guys, how? We've got a 5th, a 9th, and a 5th. And next time we're going to the brand new circuit on the calendar, the Miami Grand Prix, which I don't think I'm going to do well on because I've driven the track a few laps in time trial mode and I don't feel very confident around there. But still, how is this even possible? And guys, freaking hell, while you guys just look at the results and as the highlights are going to start pretty soon, guys, first of all, I need to apologize for my voice sounding so weird. Obviously, I cut out the parts of the commentary where I coughed. But I'm currently completely rotten of the flu. Here in South Africa, we've had a really weird winter. Some days it's hot, some days it's cold. And I was away with friends this past weekend, and there it was very cold, where the few days when I was still at home, it was still really hot. So I'm riddled with flu. So I do apologize for my very weak my weak voice and the sniffing in between the commentary. I'm sorry if that irritated some of you guys, but I want to get this content, and I mean, you guys saw why, you guys know now why I wanted to do this video. An absolutely bonkers race. P5, a second P5 of the season. I don't know how we're going to do that. Our reality check is going to come sooner than later. I can promise you guys that. But it's clear that if we just keep our nose clean, we can get some good points for Williams. That is without a shadow of a doubt. And I mean, how can I even describe this race? By far the most insane race of the season so far, and it's only round 3. I can't wait to see what comes more. The next one is the Miami Grand Prix, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy that one. So remember, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to drop a like down below on the video. Guys, if you want to share this video with your friends, make sure to go check out the links in the description down below. My social media and a bunch of other links are down there. Tag me in the post or the story where you shared this video, and I will give you a shout out in a future video as well as on my social media. Guys, thank you for the response on the most recent vlog at the Rock Raceway. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. And the support recently on the channel, I know we're still very small, but it's been amazing. And you guys truly are some epic supporters. I can't wait to see what the future holds. And if this is your first time viewing Turbo Fox races, and I see on my analytics that more than 50% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below and don't forget to ding that bell. Guys, thank you so much for watching this insane Grand Prix. Thank you so much for the support. I know it's a 51-minute video, but you guys are amazing. And the amazing content is just going to keep flowing. It's been an awesome one. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys for the next video, most certain. Cheers!